When U.S. President Barack Hussein Obama decided that he'd rather buy oil from Saudi Arabia and Venezuela than from Canada by delaying making a decision about the Keystone XL pipeline, it was a shock to Canada. I mean, everyone, including our Prime Minister Stephen Harper, had thought the project was a slam dunk. Hillary Clinton, the U.S. Secretary of State, was the decision maker since the pipeline crosses the Canada-U.S. border, and she had publicly said that her department was inclined to approve it. The EPA, the American Environmental Protection Agency, had already given the project its blessing, and thousands of U.S. workers were eager for a real shovel-ready project that didn't even need government stimulus grants. But Obama doesn't prefer Canadian ethical oil to OPEC conflict oil. He doesn't think it's important to have security of supply. He'd rather import oil that flows through the dangerous Persian Gulf. More accurately, he'd rather be able to fundraise for his re-election campaign from environmental extremists and Hollywood airheads. After all, those pipeline construction jobs are in places like Nebraska. That's flyover country to people like Obama. Those people vote Republican there. He's got his priorities. Fine. Obama has made his choice. And Stephen Harper has made his. In a series of statements since Obama's shocking pro-OPEC, pro-Saudi, pro-Venezuela announcement, Harper has made it crystal clear. Canada will not wait patiently by the phone for Obama to call and ask for our oil. Canada's going to go out there and find other markets. And there's only one oil market bigger than the United States. It's Asia, with countries like China, India, Japan, Korea, Taiwan, all desperate for crude oil. That's Harper's choice. That's Canada's choice. Great idea. We'll always have strong energy relations with the United States. I mean, we sell them 2.2 million barrels of oil a day right now, even without the Keystone XL pipeline. We have room to increase that a bit with current pipes, but let's take care of ourselves since we know we can't count on Obama to take care of us for us. It's not his job anyways, it's Harper's job. We could start by shipping more ethical oil to eastern Canada. Did you know that about 54% of Canada's oil consumption is foreign oil imports from OPEC countries too? It's hard to believe that Canada, which is a net exporter of oil, actually relies on oil from places like Saudi Arabia and Russia to fill up our gas tanks in eastern cities like Montreal. So that's part of the solution. But the real opportunity, as I mentioned, is Asia. And to get that oil to Asia, we first have to get it to the BC coast. So we've got to build a pipeline there. Now, a company called Enbridge has a plan to do just that, to take 550,000 barrels a day of the good stuff from Alberta to the town of Kitimat, BC, in something called the Northern Gateway Pipeline. That works out to about $20 billion worth of oil a year, by the way. It's very important to our national economy. Now, Kitimat is an exciting oil and gas town already. Here's a picture of a new facility being built there right now to export natural gas by tanker ship. It's how a lot of folks there are earning their living. The idea would be to build an oil tanker facility there too, with state-of-the-art safety and environmental standards. It sounds great. That's the Canadian way. Let's do it. But here's the thing. Harper wants to see our oil to Asia. Asia wants to buy it. There's a regulatory process underway, has been for 2 years. For 2 years. But then, as I told you earlier this month, the bureaucrat running the review panel of this regulatory review did something, what's the technical word? Crazy. Sheila Leggett is her name. She announced that her job wasn't to review the facts in the law. Her job wasn't to make a decision in Canada's interest. Her job wasn't to have a proper hearing into the pipeline. No, she announced that her job, according to her, was to listen to anyone and everyone in the world who clicked on her website. Anyone, any man, any woman, any child in any country in the world would have the right to testify before her committee. Here's her video announcing this craziness to the world, that her job is now to be a therapist's couch for anyone who just wants to talk. It's not a regulatory hearing. It is the Oprah Winfrey Show. Look at this.
Our job is to make sure that everyone who wants to talk to us about this project has an opportunity to be heard. We'll take whatever time it takes to ensure that everybody's views are heard.
Cuckoo. That's crazy. What do you think would happen when someone says that? As I mentioned on an earlier show a few weeks ago, every nut bar in the world has signed up. It's as easy to do as clicking a few buttons on Leggett's website. More than 4,500 people have signed up to take Leggett up on her offer. There are not 4,500 points of view here. There are two, pro and con, maybe a few shades of gray, but Leggett will allow 4,500 people to bog down the process. Now, before the first of those 4,500 even testify, they don't start till next month, Leggett announced that she was adding an extra year, a full extra year, onto her review just to hear everybody. And since that day, when she made that announcement, another 150 people have signed up. Maybe she'll delay it another year again. The Saudis are laughing. Hugo Chavez is rejoicing. Sheila Leggett was appointed by Stephen Harper, but she's pulling an Obama on us. Well, look, I don't want to be negative. I'm here to help, right? Now, I've done something that Leggett obviously hasn't done. Our team here at The Sun has gone through all of those 4,500 names. And I'm happy to say that they can easily be whittled down significantly because many of the names are simply fraudulent. Many of them are foreigners. Many of them are simply practical jokes that Sheila Leggett didn't get. I mean, let's start with Captain Jack Sparrow. He's against the pipeline. Here's his application to testify. But he's a fictional movie character from the movie Pirates of the Caribbean. But Sheila Leggett has delayed the pipeline by a year to schedule in a hearing from him. Or how about this guy? Look at his name. First name, Cave. Last name, Man. So a caveman has registered to testify. I'm not making this up. Maybe this caveman is worried that the pipeline will interfere with his hunting of woolly mammoths. I don't know. Or maybe he's hoping for some global warming to thaw him out of the ice age. I don't know. But Sheila Leggett thinks it's her job to listen to a caveman. That's a reason why she's delayed the hearings by a year. Sheila Leggett will also stop and listen to minor children like Beth Saretsky. She says she's taking Chemistry 11 at Houston Secondary School. So she's not old enough to drive yet or to drink or to vote. But she's going to testify before the panel, and Leggett's going to stop the country's economy until she hears from this teenager in chemistry class. But why discriminate against kids who aren't even teenagers yet? Here's one of the submissions faxed in. It's from the students of the Tahagan Elementary School. Elementary school! Their teacher's going to bring them in, presumably on a yellow school bus, I guess. Elementary school. So these kids are, well, I guess they're at least toilet trained, although maybe the odd accident still happens in grade 1. Now, their teacher, Laura Holmes, hasn't told us how many children from the elementary school are coming. If it's just one class, well, that's 30 kids. Each one gets 10 minutes, says Sheila Leggett. So right there, that's 300 minutes, not counting the time it takes for them to switch seats, and then there's nap time and snack time and recess. So that's at least a full day or two of Leggett's time listening to 30 infants, well, not quite infants, 30 elementary school children repeat the propaganda that their teacher has told them to say. Children, seriously. Here's my favorite. It's an OPEC oil company called Citgo. It's owned by the government of Venezuela. They're opposed to the Northern Gateway pipeline. Well, now, which do you think is a less legitimate use of this committee's time? A minor child from elementary school or a foreign lobbyist representing an authoritarian South American regime? It doesn't matter. Sheila Leggett says she'll listen to both. She'll listen to anyone. People from Brazil have signed up. People from Uruguay. People from Italy. People from all across the United States. They've all signed up too. And Leggett will listen to every one of them and delay the hearings a year. Some of them are individual American citizens. Some of them are professional American lobby groups representing high-priced foreign foundations paid for by foreign billionaires. Here's an example, the West Coast Environmental Law Group. They took $195,000 from foreign interests to oppose the pipeline. Or EcoTrust Canada. Sounds pretty Canadian, right? Well, that's a trick because they actually take enormous amounts of funding from U.S. foundations to attack Canadian resource industries. Same with the laughably titled Forest Ethics Lobby Group. They're a U.S.-funded anti-Canada hit team. They're the folks behind the anti-Canada boycotts of unethical companies like Chiquita Banana. It's disgraceful that foreign lobbyists like them are even allowed to be witnesses against our Canadian industries. But the icing on the cake is that they're not happy with just one witness. They want several to say the same thing, presumably. But Sheila Leggett wants everyone to feel included. So Forest Ethics will have a few folks. For foreign lobbyists like the ironically named Forest Ethics can send 2 people to talk. Well, can they send 10? How about can that same group send 19 people? Well, funny you should ask that, because 19 different people have signed up to testify, all providing the same email address, hailedsuckchiefs@gmail.com. Huh, well, that's nothing. 20 different people have signed up to testify, all using this same email address, sawyer@heyduke.ca. 20 people. There are countless examples of several people from the same address signing up too. Sometimes it's the same person using their full name and then their name again with just their first initial, same address. Sometimes it's presumably a husband, a wife, and a kid. My favorite name on the list, though, my favorite protester, has got to be this fellow. He says his name is Christopher Bolton, so he says, and he's a stunt man. Take a look at this. Looks like he might have worked for that show called Jackass, the movie. Check out this guy's stunts. I don't think he knows any more about pipelines or the environment or tankers or economics than those elementary school kids do. He knows how to be hit with a car and not get hurt, I guess. But Sheila Leggett is going to sit and listen to Christopher testify about the pipeline. She'll wait for him. Now, I don't have all day here. I don't have 2 years like Leggett has taken so far. I don't have an extra year like she's given herself. I got about 10 minutes. But in 10 minutes, I've shown you close to 100 fake or fraudulent or duplicated witnesses, including about 30 elementary school children and dozens of foreign lobbyists. And this list grows every single day. I got a question for you. Is Stephen Harper serious about this pipeline to Asia? Is he really? He says he is. But if he is, then why is he letting some stunned Oprah Winfrey bureaucrat let every clown, every child, every foreigner, every stuntman, every chemistry student bog down the review process? The review panel is called a quasi-judicial tribunal. That means it has court-like powers. But no court in the world would allow 4,500 different lawyers in the room. A court likes to hear from all sides, pro and con. Industry, environmentalists, unions, Aboriginal bounds, town councils, sure. But 4,500 people? Elementary children? Captain Jack Sparrow? A caveman? Stephen Harper says he's serious. I actually believe that he is. But Sheila Leggett is not serious. She's a joke. She's turned the process into a joke. And if Stephen Harper allows her circus to continue, well, the joke's going to be on all of us and on Canada's economy, too.